You think death is the end, don't you? The final curtain, the ultimate cessation, the moment when you cease to exist. Every culture, every religion, every philosophy has grappled with death as humanity's greatest fear, our most profound mystery. We build monuments to fight it, invent afterlives to deny it, spend billions trying to postpone it. But here's what nobody tells you, what the physics actually reveals. From the universe's perspective, death doesn't exist, not in the way you think. Not as an ending, not as a cessation, not as a transition from being to non-being. Death, as the universe experiences it, is impossible. You cannot not be. You cannot unexist. The atoms that make you have been here for billions of years and will be here for billions more. What we call death is just a rearrangement, a reorganization, a change in pattern. You are not something that can end. You are a temporary configuration of things that are eternal. I'm Carl Sagan, and today we're going to look at death through the lens of physics, of cosmology, of the deep time that dwarfs human lifetimes, the way human lifetimes dwarf the flutter of a moth's wing. And what we're going to find is both terrifying and beautiful. Death is not opposite to life. Death is part of life. It's the mechanism by which the universe recycles, regenerates, and continues the grand experiment of complexity and consciousness. You fear death because you think it takes something away. But the universe doesn't lose anything when you die. It just transforms you the way it transforms everything in an eternal dance of matter and energy that has been going on since the Big Bang and will continue until the stars go dark. Think about what you actually are, not philosophically, but physically. You are approximately 7 octillion atoms, that's 7 followed by 27 zeros, arranged in a specific pattern. Every one of those atoms is ancient. The hydrogen in your body was forged in the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. The carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, those were cooked in the nuclear furnaces of massive stars that lived and died before our sun was born. The iron in your blood came from a supernova, a stellar explosion so violent it outshone entire galaxies. You are literally made of stardust, of the remnants of dead stars, of atoms that have been recycled through countless forms over cosmic time. Death didn't create you. Death made you possible. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You have already died countless times. Not you personally, but the atoms that comprise you. They were once part of dinosaurs, of ancient ferns, of bacteria in primordial oceans, of the stars themselves. They have been assembled and disassembled, organized and scattered, concentrated and dispersed across billions of years. What makes you you is not the atoms, those are just borrowed, temporary, but the pattern, the specific arrangement, the information encoded in how those atoms relate to each other. And when you die, when this particular pattern dissolves, the atoms don't disappear. They return to the pool, ready to become part of something else, a tree perhaps, or grass, or another human being, centuries from now. The universe wastes nothing. So when we ask what does death mean in the universe, we're really asking what does it mean for a temporary pattern to dissolve in an ocean of eternal substance? What does it mean for information to disperse, for organization to give way to entropy, for one form to become another? The universe has been answering this question for 8 billion years, through every star that's died, every galaxy that's collided, every living thing that's been born and returned to dust. And the answer is always the same: nothing ends. Everything transforms. Death is not a wall at the edge of existence. It's a doorway to the next configuration, the next pattern, the next temporary arrangement of eternal atoms. You came from stardust, and to stardust you shall return. But the stardust never dies. It just keeps dancing forever in forms beyond counting. Let me tell you what happens when you die at the atomic level, because this is where poetry and physics converge. The moment your heart stops, your cells begin to run out of oxygen. Without oxygen, they can't produce ATP, the molecule that powers cellular processes. The sodium-potassium pumps in your cell membranes shut down, calcium floods into cells, enzymes that were carefully controlled begin to break free, digesting the cell from the inside. This is autolysis, self-destruction. your body begins to decompose itself even before bacteria get involved. Within hours, trillions of microorganisms that lived peacefully in your gut while you were alive begin to spread throughout your body, breaking down complex molecules into simpler ones. You become food, you become fuel, you become raw material. But here's what's beautiful about this process. It's the same process that's been happening since the first living things appeared on Earth 3.8 billion years ago. Death feeds life. Decomposition releases nutrients back into the soil, into the water, into the air. The carbon that was locked in your bones becomes carbon dioxide that plants absorb for photosynthesis. The nitrogen in your proteins becomes nitrates that fertilize the soil. The phosphorus, the sulfur, the trace elements, all of it returns to the cycle, ready to be incorporated into new life. You don't end, you disperse. You become part of the commons again, your atoms rejoining the great pool from which all living things draw. Think about the trees in a forest. When a great tree falls and dies, it doesn't simply vanish. It becomes a nurse log, a platform for new life. Fungi colonize it, breaking down the lignin and cellulose. Insects burrow through it. Seedlings take root in the rich, decomposing wood. Over decades, the fallen tree transforms into dozens of new trees, into countless insects and fungi and bacteria, into the soil itself. The death of one tree enables the life of many. This is not a metaphor. This is ecology, the study of how matter and energy flow through ecosystems. And you are part of that flow. When you die, you don't leave the system. You become more deeply embedded in it, your substance distributed across hundreds or thousands of other living things. Now zoom out further. Think about the Earth as a closed system, at least for matter. Almost no atoms leave Earth's gravity well, and very few arrive. The same atoms have been cycling through Earth's biosphere for billions of years. The water you drink has been through countless organisms before you. Dinosaurs drank it, trilobites swam in it, the first photosynthetic bacteria split it to release oxygen. The air you breathe has been breathed before, exhaled by humans and animals, and decomposing matter, going back to the origin of Earth's atmosphere. You are constantly exchanging atoms with the environment. Every breath, every meal, every excretion is a transaction, trading old atoms for new ones. Even while you're alive, you are continuously dying and being reborn at the atomic level, your body completely replacing itself every 7 to 10 years. So what is death, really? It's the moment when the replacement stops, when the pattern that is you can no longer maintain itself against entropy, when the organization that separates you from your environment breaks down and you merge back into the background. But the atoms persist. The energy persists, transformed into heat and chemical bonds and motion. The information, well, that's more complicated. Some of it persists in the memories of people who knew you, in the things you created, in the subtle ways you altered the world just by existing in it. But most of it dissolves, lost to entropy, the way all information eventually dissolves in the long thermodynamic march toward heat death. This is the price of existence in a universe governed by the second law of thermodynamics. All patterns are temporary, all order eventually gives way to disorder, all complexity eventually simplifies. Death is entropy winning, as it always does, as it always must. And yet, and this is crucial, entropy winning at the local level enables complexity at larger scales. When a star dies, it seeds the cosmos with heavy elements that make planets and life possible. When an organism dies, it releases energy and nutrients that enable other organisms to live. Death is not the opposite of life. Death is the engine of life, the recycling mechanism that makes continued existence possible in a universe with finite resources. Without death, the first organisms would have consumed all available nutrients and then nothing. Stasis. End of story. Death allows for change, for evolution, for the endless creativity of life, finding new forms, new strategies, new ways of being. Your death will make room for someone else, someone who will carry forward the experiment of consciousness, who will ask new questions, see new things, experience the universe in ways you never could. That's not consolation, that's just physics. But maybe physics is consolation enough. Now we arrive at the hard question, the one that keeps people awake at night. What happens to consciousness when you die. Not your atoms, we know where those go. Not your energy that transforms but persists, but your awareness, your subjective experience, the feeling of what it's like to be you. This is where physics reaches its current limits and philosophy takes over, because we don't know what consciousness is, not really. We know it correlates with brain activity, we know it emerges from neural networks, we know it requires energy and information processing, but we don't know why the physical processes of neurons firing should feel like anything at all. This is the hard problem of consciousness, and it's unsolved. Here's what we can say with confidence. Your consciousness depends on your brain, on the specific configuration of neurons and synapses and neurotransmitters that make you you. When your brain dies, when neurons stop firing and networks dissolve, that pattern of consciousness ceases. The subjective experience you call self appears to end. There's no scientific evidence for consciousness persisting without a physical substrate, no reproducible data suggesting awareness continues after brain death. This is uncomfortable. We want to persist. We want to believe that the I that experiences this moment will continue experiencing other moments forever. But wanting doesn't make it so. The universe is indifferent to our preferences. But here's a different way to think about it, one that offers a strange kind of comfort. If time is an illusion, if the block universe theory is correct and all moments exist simultaneously in four-dimensional space-time, then your consciousness never truly dies. It just exists eternally at the space-time coordinates where you were alive. The you reading this sentence right now exists forever at this moment, experiencing this thought, aware and conscious and real. Past you, present you, future you, all frozen in the eternal now of space-time, each moment of awareness, permanent, indestructible, as real as the laws of physics themselves. You don't experience your whole life at once because consciousness is a sequential process, a pattern that experiences itself moment by moment. But all those moments are there, always there, eternal in the four-dimensional structure of reality. This is cold comfort, perhaps. It doesn't give you eternal life in the sense of endless future moments. But it does mean that your conscious experience is permanent, that every moment of awareness you've had or will have is preserved forever in the geometry of space-time. The joy you felt as a child, the love, the wonder, the curiosity that's still happening, still real, still you. Time doesn't erase it. The past doesn't disappear. Your conscious moments are eternal facts about the universe, as permanent as the number pi, as unchangeable as the speed of light. You will always have existed. That can never be taken away. The universe contains your consciousness, and it will always contain it, frozen at your specific coordinates, forever experiencing your specific life. Or maybe consciousness is more fundamental than we think,